Welcome back to Your Average Investor, the channel that looks at my journey through investment, budgeting and finance. As I said in my last video, today we're going to take a quick look at my new Trading 212 portfolio. Trading 212 is one of the investment companies out there pioneering free investing. My Trading 212 portfolio is to supplement my Vanguard portfolio with individual stocks and shares. My Vanguard portfolio is where most of my money is at the moment. In my last video, I looked at how my Vanguard had progressed within my first year of investing. So I'll put a link up above if you want to check that one out. So that's enough of me waffling. Let's hop onto the Trading 212 platform and see how my investments have developed within the first week of using it.
Here we are inside Trading 212. The first thing you'll notice on the left hand side is that I'm currently investing through the Trading 212 Invest account rather than the Trading 212 ISA. The reason for this is because I currently hold my ISA with Vanguard. However, in the future, I am looking at moving my Vanguard products across to Trading 212, as they do offer the ETFs that I'm currently invested in. The app itself is fairly intuitive, and while I'm not going to be doing a full review of the app on this occasion, you can see that it breaks each individual stock down and places them into a defined category to make it really simple to find the stock or share that you're looking for when considering investing. For each of the individual companies, Trading 212 provides a graph over different date ranges to show you the performance of that stock. You can see here HSBC, you can look at the performance over a day, a week, a month, 3 months, a year, or over a maximum lifetime. By scrolling down a little further, you can see further information about the company in this detailed analysis of the company itself, some further details about the company, along with balance sheets and financial summaries. Trading 212 is essentially an all-in-one app where you can do most of your research within the app itself. You can observe full income statements across the previous 3 years and break that down quarterly as well for the previous year. So let's have a look at my own Trading 212 portfolio. I've only had this open for just over a week now, so it's still fairly new. In that time you can see that I've generated around £9.50 in return, which equates to just under 6%. Now obviously at the moment there's lots of growth potential for a lot of companies following the COVID-19 outbreak. While the price of certain stocks are very low, there is lots of growth potential. However, just because it has fallen, it doesn't always mean it will return to its original heights. If we have a look at my individual investments, you can see that I'm currently invested in a range of different companies. From Amazon to Apple, I've got BP there as well, Coca-Cola, EasyJet is one of the ones that I did a little bit more speculatively. I'm also invested in Facebook, Lloyds Bank, SSP Group, which again I've seen a really nice rate of return in the just over a week that I've been invested in them of around 23%, Starbucks and Walt Disney. This is all displayed quite neatly within the Trading 212 pie chart. At the moment you can see my portfolio is weighted quite heavily towards EasyJet, BP, Apple and Amazon. If we take a look at EasyJet specifically, you can see what a buoyant week it's had within the stock market. The reason that I decided to invest in EasyJet on Tuesday morning was because of the news that I heard over the weekend of some European countries considering reopening their borders within the near future. Due to the business model of EasyJet and the fact that they rely heavily on European travel, I decided that then was a good time to invest in them following the news. You can see that in the last week the value of EasyJet has increased by 25%, with the value of one share now at £6.95. Fortunately, when I invested on Tuesday morning, I got in an average price of £6.07 per share. All in all, this means the 5 shares that I've invested in have returned to me £4.32, a rate of return of 14%. Now the risk with this investment is that if Europe doesn't open up as the news suggested, we could see EasyJet prices fall again. However, EasyJet is still a long way from the height that it was before the COVID-19 outbreak, with shares being around £15 pre-COVID to around £7 per share now. There's every chance that it will fall again. However, I believe that EasyJet are a fairly strong company and over the long term they will get back towards their normal height. The other more speculative investment that's gone particularly well for me is the SSP Group. Now for those of you who don't know, SSP Group provide food and beverages for airports, train stations and bus stations nationwide. Obviously because of the market that they're in, at the moment they can't function as they would be normally, and you can see that they've dropped 57% in the year. Over the last week or so though, following the news that the airports may be reopening at some point in the future, and that COVID-19 is now somewhat under control within Europe, we've seen the share prices rebound. I currently have 5 shares in SSP Group and have generated a rate of return of around 22% so far, which again is really pleasing. There are lots of people who talk about being either a dividend or a growth investor, whereas I think that using a mixture of the both will see the greatest returns over the long run. If you're solely a dividend investor, you may miss out on some of the growth potential of the newer and emerging companies. Whereas if you only invest in new and emerging companies, you'll miss out on the dividend payout from the companies which are more well established within the market. Therefore, the strategy that I'm going to adopt for my Trading 212 account is to invest most of my money within the well-established companies that will continue to pay out a good, healthy dividend, which I can then reinvest over time. I will then be supplementing that with a few more speculative companies with the hope that they will give me more growth potential. If you look through my portfolio again, you can see that I've got lots of bits all over the place at the moment. And this is partly because I was using this as an account to help me understand Trading 212 and to kind of dip my toe into the individual stocks and shares market. However, all the companies that I've invested in I believe in and I think will be around for the long term. Just to show you how easy it is to use Trading 212, I'm going to make a small investment of £100 today in two separate companies. To add money to your account, you can tap the overall value of your portfolio at the top of the screen. This will bring down this drop-down menu, which shows the amount of your account that's currently in your portfolio and the amount that's made up in free funds that are ready to invest. As I've said, I'm going to invest £100 today, so I'll move the tab down to 100, tap I confirm that I'm depositing the money for myself, and then pay. And that's it. The money is automatically into my Trading 212 account. And you can see that as presented at the top of the screen now, as the overall value of my portfolio is now £275.84. The first company I'm going to be investing in today is Royal Dutch Shell, and I plan on buying 4 shares. This will equate to around a £50 investment. This will add to my current investment in BP to strengthen my investment within oil. You can see that both COVID-19 and the oil price war has hit Shell particularly hard. So hopefully as we get more back to normality, I'll see a decent return on my investment here. I've already done the research into the company and I'm happy with where Shell are at the moment with regards to their balance sheets, their investments and a number of other metrics which I've looked at. When investing in Royal Dutch Shell, it's important to invest in the RDSB ticker. There's also an RDSA ticker on Trading 212, and this is the Dutch element of the company. The share price of the Dutch element is usually slightly more, however you do have to pay a dividend withholding tax on any dividends that Shell pay out. Obviously I want to keep my fees as low as I can and keep as much of the dividend that I was unpaid as possible. Therefore the RDSB is the perfect one for me. So to buy shares in Royal Dutch Shell, I simply tap buy and input the amount of shares that I want, in this case which is 4. And you can see that equates to approximately £50.58. However, it is moving around in line with the share price. When you're happy that everything's set up, you can tap review order, and this shows you the exact order, the number of shares you're buying, the approximate value, any commission that you're paying, and the stamp duty that you will pay. In this case, the stamp duty is 25p. Now, this isn't a fee from Trading 212, this is just the cost of buying shares in the UK. Once you're happy that everything's correct, you can tap send buy order, and hopefully that will be filled fairly quickly. As you can see, the order has been almost instantaneously filled, and I now am an investor within the Royal Dutch Shell Company. The second company I'll be investing in is Boeing. Investing in airlines and plane manufacturers at this point in time could be considered something of a risky investment, as at the moment we're not sure when international and air travel will get back on the road. However, Boeing have been a consistently strong company throughout the years, with good levels of growth historically. With all this considered, buying Boeing now could represent an excellent value opportunity, as the main reason for Boeing's fall from grace is because of the COVID-19 outbreak. In the last year, the share price has fallen almost 60%, which is massive for this company. So I hope that by buying into Boeing now, when countries start to reopen and international travel is then allowed again, we should see this company increase quite a lot in value, hopefully making me a nice healthy return. Also, while on Trading 212 there's no mention of the dividend yield, from my research online and in other user spaces, Boeing have been paying a dividend of around $2 per share for the previous few years. They've also got a good PE ratio of 16.54, and while Trading 212 summary does say that Boeing's revenue decreased by around 26% in the last quarter of 2019, I still think this is an excellent opportunity to buy in and own some of Boeing. Therefore, I'm going to invest around £50 again, and here we're going to take advantage of Trading 212's fractional share offer. This means that you can invest within a company even if you can't afford a whole share of that company. So I'm going to tap buy, and I'm going to buy 0.42 of a share, which is around £50 worth of investment. So we'll tap review order. This time again you'll notice that there's no commission and obviously no stamp duty as it's not a UK based stock. I'll tap send buy order, and again it's been executed instantaneously. So before we finish, let's have a look at how that looks in my overall portfolio now. You can see that the value of my portfolio is now £272.32, with a total amount invested of £261.93. So far in my investing journey on Trading 212, I've netted a rate of return of 3.92%, and that equates to around £10 of return. We'll have a look at the companies I'm invested in one more time. You can see that I'm currently down on my investment in Amazon, but everything else, or the majority of everything else, is in a positive rate of return, including EasyJet, which is up to almost 16% rate of return now, Lloyds Bank up around 10% for me, SSP Group around 23%, and then Starbucks obviously had a slight loss there. If you haven't used Trading 212 before, you like the feel of it and you like its intuitive nature, why don't you give it a go and use my free share link down below, which will make sure that you get a kickstart to your investment by giving you a free share, and it will also help me along the way as well by providing my portfolio with a free share.
So there we are, my Trading 212 account, which is worth now slightly less than £300. In my first week investing on the platform, I've had some really nice growth from both EasyJet and SSP Group, and hopefully these will give me some good value in the weeks and months to come. Over the next few weeks, we'll keep following and checking in on my Trading 212 account. As I said in my previous video, my goal for my Trading 212 account is to grow it to a size of £1,000 by the end of my second year investing, which is in May 2021. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and comment, and if you want to catch my future videos on my Trading 212 account and my Vanguard account, as well as some extra money making tips like match betting, please subscribe to the channel, as it will really help me grow. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.